appealed to fear, also known as argumentum ad metum or argumentum in terrorem. This is an illogical fallacy, basically a statement with no logical standing. A fallacy, this fallacy is a fallacy in which a person attempts to create support for an idea by attempting to increase fear towards an alternative, towards the opposition. If someone fears the alternative, if someone fears the opposition, then they are more likely to choose the arguer side in an argument, more likely to vote for that person, etc., etc. The Daisy Girl commercial is a very famous political campaign. Just type in Daisy Girl commercial, the video will come up. It was used by Lyndon B. Johnson's presidential re-election campaign against his opposition, Barry Goldwater. Barry Goldwater was a Republican. He was very pro-war. This was at a time where nuclear testing and A-bomb testing, it was after World War II, so we had already had Hiroshima, and there was just this kind of 50s, 60s panic of doing nuclear drills in schools. So the campaign used that fear of nuclear war to attack Goldwater's position. So Goldwater being very pro-war, they took it to a big extreme. So in the video, we see this little girl. She's picking daisies and she's counting down 10, 9, 8. And as she starts to count down, we hear the voice of a man kind of superimposed over her, and he's counting down. And then we see the screen fills with a nuclear bomb explosion. So the ad then goes on to say, Barry Goldwater is pro-war. Our world is already in danger. Don't vote for him. Okay, we also see this in propaganda. So during war times, in time of great fear, propaganda uses this to get people on their side. So buy the new victory bonds. Keep these hands off. So the hands of the Japanese and the hands of the Germans, also known as the Axis during World War II. We see don't let the shadow touch them. Buy war bonds. So if we support the war, we keep our children safe. The fear that if we do not support the war, then we will fail and the Nazis will take over the world, which was a very real fear. Very real fear. Also, we French workers warn you, defeat means slavery, starvation, and death. There was a lot of turmoil in Europe, and so these ads got people to understand we had to support the war. They needed the victory bonds. They needed people to do their part to support it. Now, we also see advertising currently using the fear. In the early 90s, there was a This Is Your Brain on Drugs campaign. Also, a lot of very anti-drug propaganda. This is your brain. This is drugs, egg in a frying pan. This is your brain on drugs, fried egg. There were also commercials with different celebrities where they would take a big heavy frying pan and they would smash the eggs, or they would scramble the eggs, and they would show your brain on drugs. Not a good idea. Okay, we also see FOMO, fear of missing out. So often you see limited time offer. I want to get that. And if I don't get it in time, I'll never be able to get it because who knows if it'll come back. So this is also a fear, but it's a fear on missing out. During the COVID pandemic, Dove launched a campaign called Courage is Beautiful with the faces of men and women in the medical field. Oftentimes we would see their faces with the indentations of their equipment, of the mask lines, of the hazmat suit. So Dove launched a campaign called Courage is Beautiful, showcasing the faces of these men and women. So this is still a play on fear. We're still seeing these people do something very scary, very hard, and it's playing on our fear and emotions. And in order to keep people safe, lots of fear-based campaigning during the pandemic. COVID isn't taking a holiday, suggesting neither should you. Wear your mask, keep your distance, do your part, letting people know this has not gone away. We should not ignore this. Okay, and last but not least, the New York City Department for Aging had this series of bus campaigns where they they named coronavirus Rampage, and they used these emblems to show just how it works, playing on the fear that Rampage I won't stop until you stop breathing. So New Yorkers over 60, this is a fear of you have to get the vaccine. You need to talk to your doctor. You need to take these things seriously. So that's it. An appeal to fear, using fear to get your audience to be afraid of the alternative, to be afraid of the opposition so that they are likely to do what you are asking them to do or vote or whatever action to do it your way. Opposition.